Hello everyone, welcome back to the UiPath Apps 0 to Hero series. We are currently exploring the different functionalities in UiPath Apps. In this video, we are going to diving into that is data service and entities. If you have ever needed to manage data efficiently across multiple automations, then this video is for you. Stay tuned as we break down what UiPath Data Service is, how to use entities, and see how we can use those created entities in UiPath apps. Before we start with UiPath data services, first of all, you need to log in into the UiPath Automation Cloud. In Automation Cloud, then in the features panel, you can see there is a data services that you can enable for your particular tenant. This will be available with this icon. If you hover, you'll get the data service and you'll simply get navigated to data services. So what exactly is UiPath Data Service? UiPath Data Service is an enterprise-grade data management platform that fully integrated with UiPath Studio, Studio Web, UiPath Apps, and Orchestrator. It allows you to store, retrieve, and manage data in a structured way, which makes building automation that rely on consistent data much more simpler. You can consider data services as a database specifically designed for automation, where you can create custom data models, store important records, and ensure your processes have access to reliable data at all times. So this is the data service. And within a data services to manage your data, there are entities available. Entities are the backbone of the data services. An entity is an essentially a data model where you can define different fields to store information such like a table in a database. Each field can have a specific data type such as numbers, boolean values, dates, anything. Entities allows you to store data in a structured format, making it easy to pull or update information during an automation workflow or from a input of a user in UiPath apps. You can think of entities as a blueprint for the kind of data you want to store, whether it's a customer details, orders, or ticket records, or a purchase order, or a doctor details, patient details, whatever you want, you can store in the entities. So this was the overview of data services and the entity. Now let's see how we can create a new entity. Suppose I want to store data of students. So to create a new entity, once I land on the data services page, then you can see we have a create new entity. We can click on create new entity and there is a display name. So you can give the display name as student record. So display name can hold spaces in between, but when you and if you want to give a description, after you have given the description, you can click on create. After you have clicked on create, then you can see this is the particular entity which has been created. Then by default, it has particular fields such as ID, updated by, created by, create time, and the update time. So these are the by default fields which you get after you create any entities. Then for your custom records, so you can create new fields in the entities. You can click on create new field. So first I want to store name. Type you can select. Currently I'm storing in the text format only. So you can see there are number of type available over here. So you can choose based on your requirement. Currently I'll use the type as a text, and here you can see there are two options called required and the unique values only. So if you check this checkbox before the required, whenever you are going to create or add any data in this particular entity, so in that scenario it will not update until you fill this particular record. In case if you want this field is mandatory before you submit data to a database, so in that case you need to check this checkbox before this required. And in case if you want only unique values to be added in your entity, so in that case you can check this checkbox before unique values only. Now I can click on save, and if I refresh, then you can see I have this field available, name. Again I will add a new field called marks. Mark I will add as a type as a number, and I'll again click on save. Now you can see I have two another fields has been added in the entities. If I go to the data now you can see there is no data available. If I go and add a data. So you can see we have two columns where I can fill the data. So name, I'll give Vinith, and marks, I'll give 50. And if I click on save, then you can see the first record has been added to my entity. So this record I can fetch in my automation workflows, in UiPath apps, and wherever I want to pull this record. So this is how actually you create an entity in data service. You can add your custom fields, and if you want to add data manually to entity, then you need to come to the particular entity, and from the option in the entity is called add data, you can add your manual data. Other than this, there is an option in automation where you can use different activities to update data in the entities. So that we are going to see in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching and happy automation.